Hello and welcome back to Substream. Today we're going to be diving into a topic that is on every pre-student's mind and perhaps even their parents too. Which degree should you pick to have the best career growth, trajectory, options, and money, of course. You want to have a lot of career earnings. So when you're, 16, 17, even 18, this is a massive topic and you have to really think about what you're going to do because it can define the whole trajectory of your life. Well, fear not, because I've done a deep dive into global data, industry reports, and even employment statistics from all around the world to give you the best information possible that I can and as up to date as I can to help you define or decide what you want to study. Now, I've kind of gone down the route of a top 5 and a bottom 5, so stick around to find out which areas of degrees are the best for you to study. Let's go. And just a little warning, there's not an exact science to this. This is kind of my judgment based on all of the research that I could find. So I guess you could see this as a loose guide to labour market realities as opposed to some kind of definitive judgment on what degree you actually should study. Now, as with most research these days, our primary source or our primary location is going to be the US, and that's because they're so hot on actually gathering and doing the studies to get this data. The Georgetown University Center on Education and the Workforce is kind of the US's best center for studying this kind of stuff, and so some of the data that I've acquired comes from there. Now, if you're not in the US, do these findings apply to you? Yeah, I still think if you want to be competitive in a global workforce, in a worldwide sense, then you do have to kind of look at what the US is doing in terms of their studies and statistics. What we're looking at really is more trends, right? So alongside the US's information, we've got the World Economic Forum and the OECD, which all kind of align more or less, but there are some regional nuances. Now, if I'm speaking generally, then careers in STEM, so that's science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, are the most rewarding. They consistently show high levels of employability, high salaries, high earning potential worldwide, opportunities for growth. It's a really good direction to go in. I honestly wish I had gone down the STEM route, but I didn't. And here I am YouTubing. At the other end of the scale, now we're talking generally, talking as trends, at the other end of the scale, the kind of worst degrees, in a sense, are ones for employability and worldwide earning potential. It's like arts, humanities, social sciences. These are the ones that don't perform very well around the world, and they often have quite a short lifespan as interests and cultural shifts happen. Now, before I tell you the kind of top 5 areas and the bottom 5 areas too, I want to give you just a few insights that I found while doing this research. I found these to be particularly interesting, so let me just break it down for you. There's just 5. So, number 1, I guess this is obvious to many people watching. It's supply and demand. It's scarcity meets earning potential. Fields that have high demand and a skills gap or employment gap, and there's not enough people to fill those roles. For qualified graduates, this is a really good situation to find yourself in. If you graduate and there are loads of jobs, not many people graduating in that field, you can make bundles of cash, and you will see low employment rates and decent salaries, even for 21, 22-year-olds who are just finishing university. Number 2 is STEM dominance. Now, I've already talked about this a lot, but these are really strong fields to go in. Now, for some people, high income is not such a priority. Perhaps you come from money, or perhaps you're not as financially driven as others. So then what may motivate you? Perhaps stability. Now, if you really care about stability, then health is really a good field to go down, because there will always be people with health concerns. nursing, doctors, even care, right? These health sciences offer really good job security. So I know a lot of people will go down that route because they know that we'll have consistent work forever, and the salaries are improving in that field. Number four, I myself used to be a teacher. I used to be an English teacher for a few years. There are loads of jobs. I believe that I could walk into a teaching job next week if I really wanted to. That's because there are lots of teaching jobs. Now, why is that? It's because it doesn't pay as well as it perhaps should. There are lower median salaries than STEM or healthcare or stuff like that. So teachers are kind of underpaid. So that sees a lot of teachers career shifting. So if you're a graduate of the education field, you may find jobs, but you may not be happy with the salary. But if you want to know that you can find a job, I do think education is a really good field to go down. Finally, fifth, I guess if we're looking to the future, we're putting our future glasses on, then we want to be talking about data science, artificial intelligence, cybersecurity, blockchain, the green economy, if some people call it that, if you want to. All of these fields are going to be ripe, absolutely ripe in now, right? They are hiring now. They don't have enough people to fill the roles right now. There are loads of jobs in these fields. I see them listed all the time. So if you want to prepare for the future, those are really good fields to go down. Okay, substreamers. Now, before I tell you the top 5 degrees or degree areas or fields to go into, I would love to ask you to subscribe. If you're not yet subscribed, if you're watching this channel for the first time, help us grow, do us a tiny little favor, it just takes a click. That's all I ask. Other than that, all of our content is free for you to enjoy even if you don't subscribe. Now, our top 5 degrees for graduates. These are based on my research into employment rates, median salaries, and future demand. Those are the areas that I considered to be most important for graduates who are leaving. But what I probably didn't factor in is how interesting they are. I believe that you should go down the field that you care about, that's interesting, that you're going to be passionate about. But a lot of the time, those are fields that don't result in great jobs, unless you're very creative and well connected. We'll see. We'll get there. So, number 1, guys, computer science, data science, and cyber security. This is the most in-demand field globally right now. Why is that? Well, data is everywhere. Everything is numbers and code, and my fiance, she's a data engineer, and she gets hit up by recruiters basically every day. There are way more jobs than there are qualified candidates. Now, over time, that will balance out. I also think AI will have more of a role in data management, but right now, if you can code for data and databases, there are jobs waiting for you, and they pay pretty well. So also consider the rise of artificial intelligence, machine learning, deep learning, and the essential need of cybersecurity because of so many different digital threats. From the information I found, these are the jobs that have very low rates of unemployment and among the highest salaries in the world, and also international mobility. So if you say you want to go work in another country, the kind of skills are super transferable and helpful, and big multinationals need these job roles filled. So very good field to go down, data. Number 2, this is engineering, and I'm not specifying any particular kind of engineering because this could be mechanical, electrical, civil, chemical, aerospace, computer engineering, whatever. There are loads of types of engineers, but these are really good jobs. This is a really good field to go down. You're always going to have engineering jobs available. There's high employment, excellent salaries, and I think I would guess, I don't know, I'm not an engineer, but pretty interesting work. If you have the kind of psyche that likes fixing stuff, to see something broken and fix it and feel validated or feel proud of yourself for fixing stuff, engineering is a great thing to go down. These are also fundamental people in our society, massive contributors who push society forward through the things that they engineer, and so it's a well respected job, and people will kind of understand better than data what you actually do, and they'll go, oh, nice, well, that's cool. Now, I mentioned nursing and healthcare already, but that is number 3. Healthcare is perpetually in demand, and it is actually going to become more in demand. And you may have figured out why, because if you watch our videos regularly, we often mention the aging crisis, how people are living longer and reproducing less, and so we have these aging populations, which means we have more old people to take care of. That means there are more nurses, or the demand is there for more nurses, more doctors, more healthcare professionals. It is a feedback loop, and that means job security, stability. It should also mean climbing salaries. It definitely means low unemployment rates. Nurses pretty much can always find work, depending where in the world they are, right? If you live in a rural area, it might be harder, but in the cities, there are always going to be healthcare jobs. So if you can go study in that field, you pretty much got job security for the rest of your life. Now, this is number 4. It's business, analytics, and finance, let's say, if we can snap those two together. So broadly speaking, I would say like business degrees vary, right? They're very varied. You can go down different specializations and end up in completely different parts of business. So, one person might go down the accounting route, the other person might go down more of an entrepreneurship route with the aim of starting businesses. But business analytics, which kind of sits somewhere in the middle, being able to look at numbers and data and engineer them for favorable outcomes, that's growing in popularity. I put that number 4 on this list because I think that's a really interesting field to go down. It takes an elements of data engineering and elements of accounting and business, and it basically makes you arguably the most useful person in the office. And if you want to go into big business and you are the person who can look at the big picture, all of the information, and design paths and specific outcomes and help engineer results, people will want you around. It's really good for job security, and it's also going to have measurable success. And in business, if you can provide measurable success, this is how you get higher salaries, equity, promotions, things like that. So I think if you are business minded or a finance bro, analytics is a really good route to go down. And number 5, finally, construction services and civil engineering. The world's population is growing, and we need infrastructure. We need things built. We need more buildings. We need more homes. We need more rail lines and all sorts of stuff. And so as global infrastructure develops, jobs open for people who can fulfill them. So I think this is a really good avenue to go down. Also quite interesting to be part of mega projects, or even just projects in general, but is good earning potential, low unemployment rates, and a lot of people like to do stuff with their hands and see also that they are contributing to the development and growth of their own communities, the places and countries they live. It's a job you can feel incredibly proud doing, and helping your country or community become more resilient. So that's it. That's our top 5. You may not agree. I'd love to know in the comments if you think there are some degrees more useful than the 5 I've just given. While you think about that, and please leave me a comment, I'm going to tell you the top 5 worst degrees, but I'm going to whiz through. I'm going to do it much faster. Firstly, let me tell you the criteria. Why have I chosen these 5 degrees based on my research? Well, number 1, high unemployment rates. Number 2, low salaries. And number 3, high job instability, right? Also, I would say time span, right? Some of these jobs may not be around in a few years, so not very good to start studying it now if it may not be there. Number 1, it's fine arts or performing arts. That's things like music, drama, dance, photography. They are great for cultural enrichment and for the arts and, for beauty and society and creativity, but generally they don't offer much job security or very high incomes. And nowadays, these people are forced into a lot of kind of freelance work or working multiple jobs just to try and get sustainable careers going. Number 2 of the top 5 worst degrees, we've got humanities. So philosophy, English language, English literature, history, liberal arts, these ones, they don't offer very big salaries. There's not that many jobs you can do with them, so there's not much job security, unfortunately. But the good news is these are the kind of fields that help you develop good general knowledge, soft skills, communication skills, basically critical thinking skills, analytical skills, these kind of things. So they give you really highly employable skills, but generally not in that field. So you may need to pursue other careers and just kind of use these for use these as vocational skills. Number 3 is anthropology and sociology. Now, this is a field I was super interested in, but I realized about the time I was 16, 17, that not very employable and probably not a good career to go down. In case you're interested, I studied journalism and creative writing, and I'm doing another degree now in linguistics. So you have to find things that you're passionate about and believe that you can find a career in. And unfortunately, anthropology and sociology are super interesting, but they're not really that employable, right? You kind of have behavior sciences, you've got human history, you've got these things, but what kind of jobs, how can you create value for businesses based on your anthropological or sociological knowledge? Generally speaking, the people who are highly employable in these fields are the ones who are able to get master's degrees and PhDs and work more on a research level, getting paid by institutes to do the research. Most big businesses don't have a role for these people. Number 4, mass media and journalism. Now, yes, I studied journalism 15 years ago. I went to university, and I wouldn't say I completely regret it, but I would advise now, 15 years later, not to bother. AI is doing most of the work. It's all digital skills now that most Gen Z already have. You've also got social media and citizen journalism, and people can build their own websites and report and do stuff and make money themselves. They don't really need to go work for newspapers, which are dying, radio, which is dying, online media, which is super competitive and generally doesn't pay very well, and which relies on affiliate marketing. There's so much disruption that this is not a great career to go in. There's not going to be much stability. There's going to be high employment rates. It's a really competitive field, and it's just going to be so difficult. Don't bother. And number 5, it's like general social sciences or communication sciences, things like that. Just generally not really a good field to go down. Social sciences and communication, right now, high unemployment rates, low demand, low stability. Of course, you get really good foundational skills, as I mentioned. But yeah, it's just not really a good route to go down currently, right? And remember, just bear this in mind, if you're watching this video actually as part of your research for what to go and study, then you're actually already looking 4 or 5 years into the future, because you won't be graduating for at least 4 or 5 years. Things can change. They definitely can change. But I don't think this is an area where there's going to be a lot of disruption in terms of the labor market. So my advice is stay away from this and go and study something that you can use to help create value, to help make yourself more employable and have more earning potential. I want to just build on that thought before I conclude. It's really crucial to understand that the job market does evolve and it does change. And you can go ask your parents, you can go ask your friends who are older than you how it's changed. They will probably be able to give you some pretty good information, and most of it, I imagine, is going to revert back to technology, right? I've seen AI influence my field. automation has influenced the manufacturing and engineering field. And what we're seeing is huge shifts in different industries. And different industries are vulnerable in different ways. And it's often like routine, repetitive jobs that are most vulnerable to change. But what we're seeing now is also that creative jobs are changing. So at first it was clerical, administrative, and manufacturing that got affected by automation. But now that we see AI come in, the workforce is seeing like photographers, designers, writers, editors, all being impacted massively by AI. And some of it is self-perpetuating, because the more that creatives use these AI tools, the more it pushes out others in their field. So it's like a critical feedback loop whereby we all hurt each other, but the work gets done, right? So how can you study to plan for a future where automation and AI are definitely going to be more influential than ever 5 years from now? So the way to do that is to develop the skills that AI can't easily replicate yet. Who knows where we'll be in 5 years? But those are skills like analytical thinking, innovation, creativity, resilience, flexibility, agility, motivation and self-awareness, curiosity, lifelong learning, growth mindset, technological literacy and design, leadership and social influence. And actually that last one, leadership and social influence, that's really important. If you can develop yourself to become a leader, you can be useful anywhere in any field. So what does this mean for you? Well, it means, in a sense, it might not matter that much what you study. A lot of it is actually going to be down to your personal development and how you use those 4 years at university to improve yourself. And if you spend it drinking and partying and, debauchery, then you're probably not going to develop and grow up in the most useful way. But if you do use those years wisely, you can become such a valuable human being that when you do graduate university, you will walk into a wonderful career. The wonderful career will find you. You will manifest success because you've took the time to build the skills and train yourself and become such a useful human. And there are different ways to do that. I'm not going to tell you how. You must find it out for yourself. But I would say that you must cultivate creative thinking, critical thinking, good communication skills, ethical reasoning, diplomacy, and becoming a good leader. These are going to be super valuable in the AI-powered world that is inevitable. And to conclude, super fast substreamers, number one, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate your time. Number two, I've done this research and based this research on what's employable, what pays you well, what offers you stability, but go and study something you love and care about and mold that along with your personal development into a career. Don't just try and tick boxes. Be yourself. Be the things you care about, because YOLO, you only live once. Do something you care about. If it makes less money than your friend who goes and does finance and makes, 5 times more than you, so be it. They will have their own stresses and pressures. It's a totally different trap. If you go and do something you care about, as they say, it's a cliche, you never work a day in your life. Like me, I'm incredibly happy. I do work that I love and I care about. I could be richer doing something else, but I'm rich and fulfilled by work that I really enjoy. That is most important. So I hope you do make a good decision for your college degree, or if you're a parent watching this, I hope your child makes the right call. Good luck. It's going to be a hell of a ride, and enjoy the next few years. Thank you for watching, and regular Substream viewers, thank you for watching this. Even if it doesn't particularly apply to you, you may just want the knowledge to inform your nieces and nephews and neighbors. If so, I hope this has been useful. Thank you very much. I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.